Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking a seriously dramatic, honestly staggering 9-day fallout. It's this bizarre timeline that took one of India's most celebrated teachers, literally a guy with tens of millions of followers, and turned him into a prime suspect in a criminal case overnight. We're going to break down the whole timeline, the intense media narrative, and the underlying tensions. Let's get right into the facts.
So, let's dive right into where this drama kicks off. June 2nd, 2026. We are in Masalapur Haat in Patna. Now, this is a massive hub where millions of students go, all carrying these big dreams of landing government jobs. But that particular night, a coaching center owned by the hugely popular Khan sir is violently attacked in the dark. We're talking 15 to 20 people just hurling stones, totally trashing the office. A security guard gets severely beaten, and the terrifying sound of bullets is echoing through the streets.
What's absolutely wild here is how fast the machinery moved against Khan Sir right after that night. Look at this timeline. The attack happens on June 2nd. By June 5th, a first information report, an FIR, is registered against Khan Sir himself. And we're talking serious charges, attempt to murder and Arms Act violations. Then, that very same week, out of nowhere, a fire safety audit flags multiple shortcomings at his center. Fast forward to June 7th, and boom, a massive 20 million rupee defamation case is filed against him in the Delhi High Court. So in just 9 days, the victim of a violent attack somehow becomes the prime accused. Crazy, right?
Now, to understand how a victim suddenly flips to being the accused, we really have to look at the chaotic, completely conflicting claims from that night. At first, Khan Sir alleges the attack was a calculated conspiracy by a rival institute, Gyan Bindu GS Academy. But the police initially found no CCTV evidence of firing. Then, a viral video pops up showing Khan Sir's own security guards firing into the air. The police end up arresting those guards, stating the guards actually claimed Khan Sir ordered them to shoot. On the flip side, Khan Sir firmly maintains his guards fired strictly in self-defense. He says a mob was beating a guard near to death and threatening to literally bomb the center within days. And this whole event, it completely shattered the existing media narrative. I mean, before the attack, the media regularly welcomed him onto major TV programs, lots of applause, calling him a social worker, a star teacher. But man, immediately post-attack, the tone did a total 180. News channels suddenly started relabeling him Faisal Khan. They started calling him a mafia figure, questioning his religion, and running these highly dramatic segments claiming he was absconding from special investigative teams. It's a night and day difference.
So this brings us to a really pivotal question. What actually triggered this sudden, extreme shift in the narrative? How does a beloved educator, a guy who provides super affordable classes to the poorest students, get targeted by such a massive media and legal apparatus, literally overnight? Well, you might be surprised to learn that this didn't actually start on June 2nd.
Let's hit rewind for a second and look at the underlying cause to see how this all built up. We need to go back exactly 1 month prior. This entire fallout actually connects back to the massive NEET exam paper leak. So, on May 3rd, this huge national exam was held for 2.2 million students. But by May 12th, the whole thing had to be canceled because of widespread leaks, which understandably sparked absolute outrage nationwide. And right in the middle of all this, on May 29th, a highly confrontational TV debate takes place. During this intense period of student anger, Khan Sir became this incredibly vocal advocate. He was pulling no punches, just directly targeting the government and the National Testing Agency. He went right out and said, when NTA has spread filth, who else should be held responsible for it? He made a huge point of highlighting how 30 to 40% of these students come from families going into deep debt just to afford education, and he aggressively demanded real accountability. And here is the crucial point we need to focus on. It's this specific, highly publicized clash on May 29th that seems to have acted as the true catalyst for the massive barrage against him. During a big TV debate, news anchor Anjana Kashyap completely dismisses the educators advocating for the students. She calls them worthless, star YouTube teachers who only care about getting views and raking in money. Well, Khan Sir fires back. He publicly labels her a fraud right there on her own program, accusing her of being a sellout journalist who just trades in fake news to protect those in power. And you know what happens? Just days later, his center gets attacked, the FIR drops, and Kashyap herself is the one who files that 20 million rupee defamation suit.
The immediate aftermath of this clash unleashed some very specific and highly coordinated media tactics designed to discredit him. If we break it down, there are really 3 distinct strategies at play here. First up is the Hindu-Muslim angle, where channels intentionally started calling him Faisal Khan just to stoke religious division. Second is deflection. They used the chaos around Khan Sir to successfully distract the public from the very real, systemic government paper leaks. And finally, character assassination. They started bringing random individuals on air to make completely unverified claims about illegal land grabbing and fake identities.
Now, you might be wondering if this was just an isolated incident. To prove it's actually part of a broader strategy, we can look at another documented case of false narratives used against student protests. During a related demonstration at Jantar Mantar against those very same paper leaks, a viral video suddenly surfaced. It captured a supposed protester enthusiastically agreeing that India should be divided into pieces. Naturally, the media immediately seized on this, using it to label the entire student movement as a bunch of anti-national traitors.
But guys, here is an absolutely fascinating twist. A prominent Twitter troll, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, later actually admitted that he had deliberately sent that specific protester as a secret agent. Think about that. Those provocative anti-national statements were entirely manufactured. It was a sarcastic plant designed explicitly to discredit the movement. This perfectly demonstrates how false framing is actively, purposefully engineered against dissenting voices.
So this brings us to the broader crackdown. It really appears that this machinery is targeting multiple educators to create a chilling effect on student advocacy. Basically, by making an example out of Khan Sir, the focus completely shifts away from government accountability. Other educators are subtly, or maybe not so subtly, threatened that if they stand with the youth, they're going to face the exact same treatment. In fact, right after the NEET protests, the Uttar Pradesh government rapidly seized 3 large coaching centers. And guess what? All of them belonged to teachers who had actively joined those student demonstrations. Now let's talk numbers for a second. 7 rupees. That is the actual, literal cost of a blood test at a hospital Khan Sir recently opened in Patna. To put that into perspective, it's practically nothing. This really reminds us of the underlying stakes here. These educators are not just YouTube stars hunting for clicks. They are actively dismantling incredibly expensive coaching monopolies. They're providing accessible, affordable education and basic services to millions of marginalized students who wouldn't have a shot otherwise. And, that accessibility leads directly to empowerment. It all really boils down to 3 powerful words: educate, agitate, organize. When a system actually provides affordable education to the masses, those masses learn to organize, and they learn to agitate against corruption, like those paper leaks we talked about. And honestly, it is precisely this kind of empowerment that powerful institutions seem to fear the absolute most. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. When affordable education and student activism collide head-on with powerful media and government machinery, who ultimately pays the price? Is it the educators who end up getting defamed, or is it the millions of youths who rely on them for a chance at a better future? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this structured breakdown has given you a much clearer understanding of the complex layers behind this whole controversy. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.